Hey, Donna.
Hey Jerry, it's our thing,
Yeah.
Diamond Jerry.
We're gonna have to come up with a nickname for you, Donna. Um,
I don't know.
I don't know what
That'll
you're gonna
take
be.
some time. But I'm looking forward to our Super Bowl 2020 post game wrap up analysis.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Just like I said, we started. The first things we said were the spread,
Yes, we did. I learned what
and
the spread was.
there again. I mean, we were rooting for the Bengals. We picked them, but the spread ended up being 4.5, and they only lost by 3. So technically, if you have bet with us, you would have won, and we would be 3-0.
It's something else.
And honestly, Donna, there's a lot of things that we said which were, I don't know. I think that it was more than two girls chatting about what we don't know. Truth,
Oh,
no,
I,
really.
I I agree because there was some place it was the first time I watched a Super Bowl from beginning to end. And I'm like, oh my God, and it's like I felt so much more invested because the players we spoke about personally,
But
I
yeah,
am a
it's
fan.
and it's so funny because I mean, in the regular season, we'll have to see what we do next year. But
True.
when it comes to this game in particular, there were a lot of times we were like, oh, well, it was very close between a lot of the players. If we, even just with Joe Burrow and Matt Stafford, I mean, we were talking about, we both like Joe Burrow his cards because he's got the 10 of clubs, the eight of diamonds, you know, he has those cards as a person. He had them for the day, and he was having a really good day. He just ran into some bad luck at the very end. Um, but Matt Stafford, what was interesting when I went back to listen to what we said, he had that 5 of spades, and he was, I said he was a wanderer,
Right. But he didn't go anywhere.
but remember I said, but I don't know how many teams he's been on. I haven't
But
looked
that's
into him.
right.
And then when I actually found out, he spent like I think 12 years on the Detroit Lions and not never leaving, finally left, and now he was in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, so he
Hmm.
needed to wander in order to win. And he
Good
finally
point.
left. He finally he made a move, and then we were talking about his king of clubs and how
Over
he's
if
smart,
he
but
overthought it,
if he
yep.
overthought it would be a problem, but obviously he didn't overthink.
But
I
true.
mean, they were both thinking, and I mean, there was just that was one thing that really hit me. Um,
Hmm.
when you come to the coaches, we basically, I mean, they were almost equal. In fact, I said that I gave Sean McVay I gave him the upper hand, and you said you still went with Zach, I think, but they were like so close. Um, but Sean had those two Queen of Diamonds as a 5 of spades and a Queen of Diamonds, and I actually said something even when it was Matt Stafford when he had that 8 of clubs. I said he might have Joe Burrow's number.
You did.
So like that, I started listening, going, "Whoa, that was a bunch of things I said," and you know, so the one that really struck me the most, I have to tell you the one that struck me the most, was, well, there were two. Remember, you had been talking to Peter, your husband, and said, but you didn't talk about Cooper Cup. And, we had him here, and and you said, yes, we did,
At the
because
very end.
we were all done, and we said, I said, we need to talk about the others, and you went like, yes, let's give them their time. So we went to talk about them. So funny because Cooper Cup, he was the MVP. So he ended up being the most valuable player, and we were almost not going to talk about him,
True.
but we did, and we looked at him and we went, he's got really good cards. You have to go back to the videotape to hear exactly what we said, but he ended up being the MVP, and he had like 2 of hearts, 2 of clubs, and like as a in his position, the 2 is not a bad thing.
True.
You know, that's probably the best card for someone who is a receiver. And then like the funny part was like Odell Beckham, because you said who we have to talk about, Cooper Cup and Odell Beckham, but we didn't talk about Odell Beckham. We didn't mention him, and what happened to him?
He was out. He was injured in the first. And you know what? And Cooper Cup was really in the last play.
Exactly, he won the game, but and Odell Beckham. Not only did we not talk about him, even though we said we were going to talk about him, we didn't. He has a lot of nines. It was like I'm looking through it and I'm going for this. He had five of spades, four clubs, but then he got a nine of spades, and a queen of hearts. And he had a ten of spades, queen of clubs, and then a nine of hearts. Like he's the only player in here for the day that has
That had,
nines during the day. And we know
it's
that
always in the
nines,
cards
we know
or
nines means
endings.
something ending,
Exactly.
and obviously, and I I don't know, like we just sort of like it went right over our heads that we didn't talk about him. But when I look back, I looked at saying there was a reason we
Yeah,
didn't
what
say
we did
anything.
exactly. It's
I mean,
true.
it just like it gives me a little bit of a goosebump because it was just like I know why we didn't talk about him. But and I think we talked about everyone else. Everyone had good days. I don't think that we missed anything really. Except
No, and
that
even saying something about DJ Reader and him being like in a key play. I don't remember exactly what, but I've been going, there he is.
and, yeah, and I mean, there was just a lot of great things in this game that we were talking about, and I think that I don't know. I think we have something. We're onto something because it is always in the cards.
It is always in the cards, and I really watched it I like that chemistry between people, and there was a lot of with Joe, and the people that we really were talking about, we really saw them playing together. Like there was some mental power going on there that at least I could feel some of that energy from the people we mentioned or just talked about.
And one thing that you said, and you said it with such. It was so funny the way you said it. You're looking at it, and you just look up and you go, "I just never thought of football as a family. I never thought the team was a family." And just the look on your face, I'm like, and you're like, and you were talking about the Bengals, and knowing more about the Bengals now than we did before we even
Mm-hmm.
taped that, they are a fan. I mean, these are all young. A lot of them are young players who are. I mean, Joe Burrow. Knock on wood, may he have many years, and they're young. Some of them are young. Evan McPherson. I mean, these are not.
It was fun watching him kick. But Jerry, it's interesting that you said that because in my corporate career, it was always two people made it to the final presentation, and one got the deal and one didn't. And nine times out of 10, I would win, and it was always you and your sales team going against another sales team.
Right.
So when we were looking at that, the people you work with are very close, and
Hmm.
you're going to game together. So I never realized that football had that same element. So like we could look at CEOs and their leadership teams.
Down bands, CEOs, everything. Any group of people, whether it's is a family. Just
Well,
like
true,
Seinfeld
because
made a different type of family.
you realize, I've been with some very successful companies and some that didn't make it. And I was looking at, well, they made it not quite as the others. The birthdays of the CEOs and how they led their forces. There's so much that we can do, Jerry,
I know.
because you know why? It's our thing and it's always in the cards.
It's always in the cards. And right now we're on a winning streak, 3-0. Hey, listen, if you bet with the spread and you bet with the Dear Wise Women, You did pretty well.
I think so. And I look forward to the next arena that we will be focusing on.
Ooh, we're gonna go for
I
more
don't know.
sports.
You know, I'm invited to an event at in the Liberty Center, wherever it is in Brooklyn, that where I don't know if it's the Brooklyn Nets or the Liberty, whoever's. Because see, I'm not sports, but I was invited to something in March. So who knows what I'll be? Who knows what we're going to be
The only thing I
looking
could think
at?
of in March is March Madness, and we could do something with
Oh,
that.
we could do so much March
Although there's
Madness.
a lot of people on there, those teams.
No, we can't. We really can't do it till the final and look at,
Yeah, it's too
we have to
much.
figure it out. Yeah. But it's always in the cards.
It's always in the cards. So
So I
we
say,
say, and we
I'm
have to
Donna
say
Bernard.
Happy Valentine's Day first. We have to say Happy Valentine's Day since
Yes.
it is day after. And now you can say what you were going to
I'm
say.
Donna Bernard. Thank you for joining us.
Jeri Isaacs, peace out. Much
And
love.
for Carmen, we'll say much love.
Yep.
It ain't nothing